What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Zigzag. My name is Corbin, and thank you for joining me here today. What I got for you is, of course, the weekly rundown of what's been going on in the WWE. I personally am in a very good mood. I got amazing news yesterday. My favorite rapper, Baby Keem, is dropping an album after like 5 years. Last time he dropped an album, I was a freshman in high school. So, about damn time. But I'm super happy. And he's touring nearby to me, so I might even end up going to his concert. But I'm super hyped about that. If you guys have any concerts you are looking to go to, tell me about it in the comments. I'd love to know, seriously. So this also is getting posted on YouTube. All of my podcasts are now going on YouTube, which is super cool. I might even throw in some other graphics, maybe some pictures. Who knows? I'm gonna totally experiment with this one. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be posting on YouTube so much more. I'm really trying to get this stuff out. So if you can do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't already. We have a lot of fun over here on this channel. If you like the WWE, and even if you don't, subscribe, because then it pushes my content out. If you could comment anything. Do you know what? If you're listening to this video right now, I want you to stop listening to me. I want you to go down and I want you to comment your favorite finishing move of all time. Go comment it. I want to know. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to respond to every single person. And maybe we might even spark up a little conversation in the comment section. And then you might even be featured on a video if I end up wanting to respond what you say. So if you're listening to this, please go do that. I would seriously love to connect with you guys. And, kind of helps me out as well. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So first of all, we're going to go back to SmackDown from last week. And we're going to kick it off. Actually, not even SmackDown. I had an epiphany. And whenever I say I had an epiphany, I mean I saw it online. Somebody said that the masked dude might be Buddy Murphy. And I can't get it out of my head. And then I saw Grayson Waller. It's got to be Grayson Waller, right? And what I've seen online is that it's just a temporary replacement until Seth is, good to go. So they're already trying to start up this storyline now. And then once Seth gets, he gets cleared, he's just going to be instantly just zapped into that position. If that's what they're doing, that's totally fine. But I think it'd be pretty cool if Grayson Waller was, in on it with Austin Theory, if you know what I'm saying. Like, him and Austin Theory are becoming this, part of the vision together. The only problem I have with that is WWE would go, oh, look, they're together on, like, the Seth Rollins, like, new vision, I guess is what I'll call it. They're on the new vision. We'll just make them a tag team again. I'm just like, no, don't do that. Please don't do that. The only thing is Grayson and Austin Theory haven't come together at all since Theory's come back. So we haven't really burned that. Like, Grayson Waller's burned the bridge by saying all these like bad negative comments towards Austin Theory. But I'm not 100% sure Austin feels the same way. I don't know what they're doing between those two. I'd love to know, but I think the temporary replacement until Seth comes back and is officially cleared to wrestle and do all that stuff, I think the masked dude is Grayson Waller. It would make a lot of sense to me that they're trying to start this early so they can just hit the ground running. Now getting to SmackDown, we're moving to the Cody Rhodes promo, and I gotta be the one to say it. The Drew McIntyre. Oh my gosh, Cody. The promos are getting old. The Cody versus Drew promos are getting old. I'm sorry. We need some way to spice up the SmackDown main event scene, and it's not Drew's fault. I don't even think it's necessarily Cody's fault. I just don't think the creative team is integrating enough story and, different details into this arc that's going on right now, and it's just getting a little stale. They're relying on star power to make this story work, which is fine because Cody and Drew are spectacular. But at the same time, it's like, if you're not giving anything to the story, it's not going to work. Like, people aren't going to see it from four different perspectives. This isn't going to be a 3D story. This is a side scroller. This is very 2D type of story. Now, with CM Punk and Roman Reigns, that's a 3D story. That's a 3D story. There's all these different elements being poured into this from the past podcast that CM Punk did, and whenever he was bashing the WWE, and Roman being the head guy and saying, do you know what, I allowed you to come back in here. And you have all these elements that are being poured in on Raw, and which has been so fantastic. Over on SmackDown, it's just like Cody Rhodes just like, Drew, I hate you. And Drew's like, I'm just going to keep claymoring you. And it's not their fault. They're doing the best with what they've been given. But if they could just add in some more pizzazz and some more angles into this feud, that would be fantastic. Now, the angle they're trying to add is Jacob Fatu into all this, which is fine, but that still doesn't add more storytelling. That adds another star power person like I've been talking about. Because I'm fairly certain what this is leading to is Cody versus Drew versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania. I mean, that's pretty obvious, I feel like. Which I think I'm going to do a WrestleMania prediction podcast / video here in a little bit. But I think that's kind of what they got to be aiming for. So I feel like if they can add in some, like, if it could be like Drew McIntyre's like, I've been searching for this belt and you just got opportunity after opportunity. You've been pushed to the moon. Like, if they can break that fourth wall a little bit, like what Roman and CM Punk did, that could really make a cool new angle for this story. Next up, we had the women's tag team match, Kiana and Julia versus the current tag champs, Rhea, and Io Sky. I am taking stock in Kiana James. I'm taking stock. This is my Kiana James stock chart. Number one, she's got a good build, and she's attractive. And WWE fans love attractive characters. Guess what? She's going to be over if you put even a sparkle of singles push energy into her. She's going to take off like a rocket purely off of that. But not just that, she also is incredible in the ring, which I never really knew who she was. And then during the Rumble, and definitely during last week's match, in the tag match, she was spectacular. It blew me out of the water. Seriously blew me out of the water. And I think it's cool that WWE is now taking an advantage of these two younger people, which they were not doing this originally. Originally, they were just like, Julia and Kiana are together for some reason, and they're on SmackDown. Now it's like, okay, they're a tag team. They're definitely a heel tag team now. They've really made sure to reinforce that kind of aspect. And along with that, it's like Kiana is the translator for Julia, which that makes sense. And along with that, they're actually pushing them to be a competitive team, which works. This works. Just having them be on SmackDown and having them just be like, oh, we can beat anyone we want. That's not a story. But you can make characters, and these two can work with this kind of gimmick that they're working with right now. They're like a underrated powerhouse team, and their dynamic is now starting to flow way better than it was 2 months ago. So Kiana James, super impressed. I think she's going to be a future star, and boom. Next we got, what did I put in here? It's crazy how elevated the women's tag division is right now. It's literally just from the amount of star power that's being dumped into it. So yeah, the women's tag division, in my opinion, is the top division right now, which usually is not, it's not really how it works. It's always the top championships, the WWE championships, the heavyweight championships. But this is what we got to think about. Everything fluctuates in the WWE. It always has, always will. Like, at one point, Dominic was defending the IC championship a ton. He was producing great matches. He had a ton of eyes on it. That elevated itself above the US title and above, potentially one of the WWE championships, like the main championships, because it had more eyes, it had more focus, it had more screen time. And it's not like it's because Dominic's better than Cody Rhodes, or like, I'm not trying to say that, but I'm saying the more they put effort into making this championship look good, it becomes like higher on the totem pole than other championships. And that's what's happening right now with the women's tag, is because they have now poured, you have Lash Legend and Nia Jax, which Lash, they're making her like a powerhouse. Nia Jax, we obviously know, former world champ. She's I think she's getting better in the ring. I do like her character work she's doing right now. So like, and she's a veteran at this point. And then you have Alexa and Charlotte. Boom. I mean, my opinions about Charlotte Flair, but I mean, it is Charlotte Flair. She is a star. People like her. And then you have Rhea and Io, and you have the Kabuki Warriors, and I mean, you have all of this firepower. You have the Judgment Day. And not even to mention you have Bayley and Lyra. I mean, dude, I'm not even naming all of the tag teams, and like this is gold. This is golden. The women's tag team division right now is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. I mean, the amount of, like I just said, the amount of star power that they have single-handedly shoved into this division has made it the top women's division. And like, I don't have a problem with it at all. If they want to make this the top division for a few months, I'm totally fine with that. And I think the biggest reason it feels like that is because Rhea and Io are the tag champs, which is good. If you can make the tag team division feel like it is strong, like it is, like, I'm gonna be honest, the women's tag team division is better than both the guys' tag team divisions, but like by a long shot. So I think it's cool how elevated it is right now, and this is going to make future stars, which is what I think is the most important. How can we build these people up? How can we put them in this main event scene? Maybe, yeah, they lose to Rio, but it's still like, okay, they at least competed. We got to see what they can do. Where can we build from this? Which I think is what is so good about the women's tag team division right now. Miz versus Carmelo Hayes went at it again over on SmackDown for the United States Championship. And people online, I feel like, just forget that the Miz can wrestle. This dude is a Hall of Famer, no doubt. Former WWE champion. He beat John Cena in the main event at WrestleMania. What is he? 9-time Intercontinental Champion, multi-time US champion, like a 2-time Grand Slam champion. I mean, like, come on. It's just laughable to me that people forget that the Miz can wrestle. He comes out, him and Carmelo put on this spectacular match. Miz is doing like some arm drags, and I think he even did a Hurricane Rana at one point. And he's selling like he normally does. And people online were just like, oh my gosh, this was the greatest Miz match ever. I'm like, it's not. But it's like, I think you guys just have this weird clouded head where it's like, well, we just thought Miz was good because he has good character work. And it's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, that is the main reason he's good. But you guys forget that Miz is great in the ring. And then, of course, you go to the finish, this is Miz and Melo just having perfect chemistry. And you end with the first 48 getting reversed into the skull-crushing finale, and Melo rolls through it instead of getting hit with the finisher into the first 48 to win the match. Cinema. It was spectacular. I got a would you rather here. This one gets a little dark. Would you rather know how you will die or know when you will die? If you guys got your answer, put it down below. I'd like to know what you guys think. This is so easy for me. I feel like knowing how I would die would be better, because that'd be something where it's like you die in a car crash, and it's like, well, it's not like I'm gonna not step into a car ever again. It's like, yeah, it would suck because every time you get in a car, you're like freaking out probably. But knowing when is like putting a countdown timer on your life. So you're literally like, you're sitting there and like you would be constantly itching. You'd be like just like dying inside. And I feel like if it's a thing where it's like, well, you suffocate in a cave and die, and it's like, well, I could just stay away from caves forever, but inevitably in this scenario you would end up in a cave. That's just how this would work. So knowing when you would die would just be the worst thing ever, because this would be constant, just boggling, mind crunching, just like, I mean, this just like pounding down on you, because all you could probably think about is just like, oh my gosh, I'm dying at 36 and I'm 19 right now. Like, I only got 17 years left. Like, I gotta do all this stuff, which honestly couldn't be the worst thing ever, because maybe that makes you more motivated, I guess, to live out your life in the fullest. But at the same time, it's like, knowing how you'll die, it's like, what if it says, oh, you're dying of old age? Sick. Like, but like, that's cool, but then it says you're dying at 85. Like, for like, a normal person would still be like, that's too soon. That's too soon. That's too soon. And you're constantly thinking about it. You're like, well, I'm 20 now, and that went by super quick. And and it just turns into one big mind F, and you just screw yourself over. So if I had to pick one, I would definitely choose how I would die. Moving back over to SmackDown, Chelsea and Alba Fire have this really weird chemistry that shouldn't work, because Alba Fire is Scottish and doesn't seem like someone that Chelsea would have a good relationship with. But now, like they've been in the Secret Service for a while, and I feel like the dynamic right now is clicking so well because they're letting Alba Fire speak now, which the writers didn't let her do for a very long time. And on SmackDown, I don't remember who said what. I think, Chelsea called Tiffany Stratton tacky time, which I thought was pretty funny. And along with that, Alba Fire then quickly after that says, maybe you want to really pronounce those words, which is basically saying that, Tiffany Stratton's an airhead or an idiot. So letting Alba Fire talk and kind of back up Chelsea works very well in their dynamic, because letting both of them talk is very funny. It's a new, this is what I'm talking about with the dynamics, making things 3D, the story 3D. Are they necessarily in a storyline together? No. Chelsea and Alba Fire, sadly enough, as good as they both are, they're kind of just stagnant right now. But what they're doing is 3D in itself by creating this character in this kind of multiverse within themselves. And it is creating this atmosphere around the Secret Service and the president, Chelsea Green. So them being able to work together to create the best moment they can while they're on screen for so little works super well, and I'm super impressed by them both, and it makes them a great duo. And along with that, kind of piggybacking off that, they're starting a new gimmick as well. And it's not like a new gimmick, like it's full, like, oh, we're getting rid of the Secret Service and the presidency. No, we are integrating this Newsies aspect. If you don't know what that is, it's a musical. I hate that. I hate that I know what Newsies is. It's my sister's fault. She's a music theater major, and I know what it is. I think I've seen it before at some point, but you've probably heard the extra read all about it. That's from Newsies. That is what they are doing by saying, oh, read about this. You got to read the paper. I think she even said extra, read all about it. And they're throwing out all these papers at people. And whenever, like in the audience, and whenever you open it up, they take pictures of it online. And it has gone viral online for some of the stuff they're putting on here. Like Chelsea Green screwed over by, official, because they didn't count fast enough or whatever. And it's like a picture of her and the headline down below. And it's like a little mini like souvenir now that they are throwing out to all these people in the crowd. That is going to get red hot here in a little bit, 100%. Like if I was in the crowd and Chelsea Green or Alba Fire threw me one of those, I would probably frame it and put it on a wall because that is awesome. It is free merch, which people love stuff that's free, let's be honest. And along with that, it's like, this is a cool gimmick that also is kind of just like a branch of what you're already doing. So what they are doing, all in all, is spectacular. Chelsea Green starting the Elimination Chamber qualifying match by slapping both Tiffy and Lash was pretty incredible. This just works because Tiffany and Lash automatically think to themselves, okay, well, Chelsea's out of this because it's Chelsea Green. So they get it up into each other's face. They have choice words. And Chelsea's like, hey, I'm here too. Slaps both of them. And then, of course, they beat the hell out of Chelsea, which is pretty fair. But besides that, Chelsea Green was showing out during this match. She had the double coast to coast, the huge flying crossbody off the top rope to the outside. She was throwing people over the barricade, threw people into the post. I mean, she was showing out. It was spectacular. And if you go back and watch the match if you can. And I just want you to think about whose name are they chanting the entire time? Whose name is being chanted the entire freaking match? Chelsea Green. As much as I like Tiffany Stratton, and I think Lash Legend is going to have her moment in the future, it's Chelsea Green's time. Are we even serious about this? I want to talk about something that was said on Unreal. Michael Hayes, who, I'm going to be honest, if I ever met him in real life, I would have some choice words for him. And I'm not a very confrontational person, but some of the stuff he said in the past, on Unreal, on different podcasts, on news networks, all this stuff, because he's a pretty high up person in WWE. I would have some choice words because in long form short, he said Chelsea Green isn't a main eventer. She's kind of just someone that gets beat up and makes other people look good. That's awesome. It's great that she's that person that can elevate others, but just being someone that elevates others and gets beat up doesn't mean you can't be a main eventer. That's such a bad connotation to put. I think I used that word right. I don't know. That might be totally wrong, but I think you know what I'm saying. That's such a bad vibe to put on somebody. Like I use him all the time. Dolph Ziggler. What was he meant for? He was the best character on any of the shows, and he was the best wrestler and the best seller on any of the shows. And guess what? He was the exact same as Chelsea Green. They're the best part of their shows. The absolute best part. But they are in the main event, and they're not getting these crazy pushes because WWE decides at some random point in their career, you are the punching bag. You're the person that's going to lose every single match. You're going to lose every single match, and everyone's going to love you. Everyone's going to love you because you're so great, but we're still going to have you lose to Billy Badass over here, some, Joe Schmo, because we need them to look good instead of you. That's not fair. It's not fair. If you're imagine being in a company. Let's say you join this accounting firm. And you go there and you are the best accountant of all time. You find ways to make people millions of dollars within a few weeks, which people don't even do in a lifetime. I don't even know what accountants do. I know they just track money, but maybe like a stockbroker or something's better for this. But you guys know what I'm trying to say. You become the absolute best at your job within a few weeks, and everybody's like, wow, this dude is so amazing at his job. Like you need to be higher up. You need to be teaching people. And what does the CEO do? The CEO just says, yeah, we're going to give the big old raise, and we're going to give the higher up position. We're going to give it to Joe over here. And Joe does nothing. Joe just shows up to work and plays solitaire on the computer. That is what Chelsea Green is going through right now. She is Mr. Millions, while people like remaining nameless Charlotte Flair, people like Charlotte Flair, are taking up main event spots where she should be. It's not just Charlotte either. She's just the person I dog on here. But Michael Hayes saying that Chelsea Green is not a main eventer is the biggest slap in the face, not only to Chelsea, who is bar none the best, like probably one of the best girls on the roster. It's not just a slap in the face to her, it's a slap in the face to all the fans who enjoy the presence of Chelsea Green and enjoy the character of Chelsea as well. I mean, to me, that is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And Chelsea not being even remotely in the main event spot, I don't understand why you take Tiffany out of this match, put I don't even know, put someone else in here, put Kiana James, for example, put Kiana James in Tiffany's spot and have Chelsea win this match. Because it makes sense. Because maybe they don't want to push her to get the title right now. Maybe that's not the direction they're going. But she can at least be in the frame. At least she can be around the main event. And she could use her skills and her greatness, which that is the right word for this. She's going to use her greatness to help elevate something she's not even a part of because she's just that good. Michael Hayes saying Chelsea Green is not a main eventer is BS. It is absolute crap. And I literally won't stand for it. I think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's the worst take I've ever heard come out of any WWE official person's mouth. And I think, honest to goodness, I think he's an idiot. So, sorry for that little rant. Moving on to someone who, sadly enough, I think is going to end up in the same spot as a Dolph Ziggler or Chelsea Green. We got Kit Wilson, but down the line, hopefully he gets a bigger push after being he's the punching bag. Kit Wilson is going to become the punching bag, and I think he's fine with that. You need punching bags in the WWE. I'm not saying that, but just being a punching bag for 10 plus years doesn't work. You can be the Miz. The Miz is the perfect punching bag, but then it's if he wins the WWE Championship tomorrow, you're like, yeah, that makes sense, because they actually can put some heat on him, and they can kind of strap a little bit of a baby rocket to his back whenever they want to, which that's what they can do with Chelsea. They just won't do it. It's what they're doing with LA Knight, and they won't do it. It's what they should have done with Dolph Ziggler, and they won't do it. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a point. It's what they're doing with Finn Balor, and they won't do it. So being the punching bag is fine. Taking a ton of pins is okay. It's part of the job. But at some point, WWE has to look at the fans and what they're doing and be like, do you know what? The only person they're cheering for right now is Chelsea Green. Look at the reaction for LA Knight. Look at how the fans freak out whenever Finn Balor's on a backstage segment. And the fact that WWE isn't thinking to themselves, gosh, maybe this is the year they aren't the punching bag as much, and maybe we give them a singles title, or we let them win a ton to show off, to build up their strength maybe for a push next year. You know what I'm saying? So, but Kit Wilson comes out. This dude has the audience in the palm of his hand. It's not even funny. He has now gotten the word toxic over, and it is being integrated into his promos, and it is spectacular. He's calling out people in the Rumble, and he's like, this person and this person, toxic, and the entire audience. What do? They chant toxic right after he says it, and it was thunderous. It was thunderous inside that arena, and he's just gotten a stupid word over. This is just like yeet. This is just like yeah. This is just like what? It's the same thing. It's the same thing, and it is spectacular. And I love what Kit Wilson is doing right now with his character. And honestly, this is kind of a brought up from nothing gimmick. Like, this is, my tag partner got hurt. You're too good to leave off TV for a year. So let's just give you this random thing and see if you can run with it. And guess what? He's making it work way too well. So what I have on here is, he says, a man who moisturizes. I'm a man who listens. You should try it. He is, like, if you guys don't know what a quarter zip matcha drinker is, that is definitely, that's like a Gen Z term right now. So if you're, if you're a little bit older, this is basically someone who is trying to be a feminist to make themselves more attractive to girls. Like, that's, like, matcha drinker is kind of like what the thing is. And so thought it was very funny that that's the way they're now taking this gimmick, and I like it a lot. And then, of course, Kit Wilson says, anybody from the Rumble, I'm gonna show you how toxic you are, or something like that. And God himself came through the curtain. Oba Femi answers his open challenge type thing, and attempted to kill him. It was hilarious. I thought this was perfect. I thought this was such a perfect segment, because of course they're still keeping Oba at this super high level. They're making him look very strong. And Kit Wilson, like I said earlier, is the punching bag a little bit right now, but he's super over, but he's the punching bag. And for where he's at in his career, that is totally fine. And Oba Femi versus Kit Wilson, it's got to be one of the funniest, like, matchup comparisons I've seen in quite some time. The Women's Championship promo segment was really great. It just worked, and I'd actually be interested to get Jade versus Raquel, but Jordynne Grace is showing out, so I don't know how that would work. So, literally, if you would have talked to me like 3 weeks ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago, the Women's World Championship over on SmackDown was literally in the ground. They have now elevated Jordynne Grace, who has now been fighting with Jade Cargill for this title. That single-handedly, putting one person that has a lot of star power and they've built her up to look strong, putting her into the main event with Jade Cargill actually is elevating the title, and they're not even putting a good storyline behind it. This is literally just like, hey, Jade, you're being mean to the other talent. I'm Jordynne Grace. And like that's not the greatest story ever. It works. At least it's something. At least we are promoting the title. But then, of course, you got Jade versus Raquel. That's standoff. I would be down for that, because that's like two powerhouses going after it. And two girl powerhouses isn't something you get very often. So I think that this dynamic could really work. But the Women's Championship, it's slowly coming back around. It's not up here. It's not anywhere close. It's still down low. They're still not doing a good job booking this. Jade hasn't even defended the championship in 3 months, because apparently all of her matches have just been like non-championship matches. So I'm interested with what they're doing. They're giving it a little bit of juice, and they need to keep it going, and we can build from here. Drew McIntyre gets beat up like 2 separate times while he's trying to say something. So after Cody and Jacob Fatu finally get kicked out of the building, he comes down, and I think he delivers a near perfect promo to defend SmackDown. And here's why. People online are like, "Oh, this was mid." No, it wasn't. What is Drew supposed to go out there and say? Roman and CM Punk. Well, okay, no. Sorry, I'm gonna rephrase that. CM Punk was trying to single-handedly bury the SmackDown Championship by saying, "Go take the easy way out," which is Drew McIntyre. Not the easy way out. No. 6'5" Scottish war machine could literally kill you. And I understand he beat him in Hell in a Cell. Cool. He's still 6'5", 280 pounds of pure muscle. Let's not call him the easy way out. Roman defends him a little bit, but also kind of does the Roman thing where it's like SmackDown's he makes one show look more important, which isn't his fault. He just has so much aura that he does. So I think at this point, the SmackDown championship is the secondary championship. That's what it feels like. But at least Drew defends it. Drew basically goes on and says, you guys are going to be at WrestleMania aura farming. Him saying aura farming was not on my bingo card for 2026, but it was very funny. And it was also needed because he's basically saying that like these two aren't going, like don't even want to go to battle. They just want to like have an aura contest, which is a little bit true. And also I thought this was a perfect promo from Drew because he's defending SmackDown. He comes on there and after Raw kind of treats SmackDown like it's the secondary show and it's not the best show and they're saying all this stuff and Drew's like right now I'm building this up and you're over here like, you know, you're taking down my brand. This brand is historical and it's fantastic with what's going on. Like, you know, he single-handedly, the championship holder, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to make your brand look good. This made SmackDown look good, in my opinion. I thought it was a very good promo. And then Trick Williams comes out and Drew says, I'll stick those lemon pepper steppers where the sun don't shine. And Drew's always been funny as hell to me. Him posting like online, like posting on Twitter during his matches saying, oh, just a day at work. I always thought that was super funny. He's always been funny in his promos. Now the Scottish accent does give it a little bit of juice because it's funny. But again, Drew cut a very good promo to help defend his brand, which I don't think people online really got that. Fantastic final match between Randy, Solo, and the other person that was in this match, which I don't remember, but it must have not been that important. So, Randy Orton is going to the Elimination Chamber, which I saw the match and I was like, yeah, that's probably who's going. But dude, Solo Sikoa throwing up like the random like Randy Orton arms, and he's like making fun of people. I think Solo, as a solo star, that's not supposed to be a joke. That's just the only way I think I can word this. As a single star, would be way better if he was not caught up with the MFT stuff. Me personally, I don't like the MFTs, like the stuff. I like Tama Tonga. I think he's a really good talent. Everybody else, I could literally care less about. Tonga Loa, Tala Tonga, JC Mateo. WWE haven't given me a reason to care about these people yet. So, Solo going on by himself, and eventually I think he could be a really good babyface in my opinion. So, I want Solo to be a single star within the next year and break away from the MFT stuff. But, you know, for now we just don't know. But Randy Orton, Elimination Chamber, makes sense. He's going to kill it down there. And I thought the final match was really good. Everybody was really involved. But what's really sad is I don't remember who the third person was. So yeah. If I knew, here's like a little random question. If I could know the truth about one mystery, what would it be? Ooh. This is a fun one. If I could know the truth about one mystery, there's a mystery about a video that you get shown whenever you become president of the United States. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. Whenever you become the president, you see this video and it's basically like showing you history and like what really happened during these certain events and like if there were certain scandals and what happened and how the United States handled this, or like what's going on at Area 51. Like it's all kind of intertwined apparently in this video. And I would like to see the video. I want to see the video super bad. I can't believe like that's like a video that they're hiding from us, which I get you're the government, like you have to hide some stuff, but that that being like, that's like such a big mystery that lives in my head, just because I don't even like, even if I saw it like and they were like you can't tell anyone or you die, it'd be like that's totally fine, because I just want to know, like I just want to see the video. um it would just have a bunch of aura as well. So yeah, that would be my pick for that. The original El Grande Americano handcuffs the new El Grande Americano and goes into the main event in his place on AAA. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the original El Grande Americano he wins the number one contender. Like it's to get put into the number one contender match against Hijo del Vikingo, I'm pretty sure. And so now on AAA, we have the original El Grande Americano pretending to be the new El Grande Americano, which is flipped from what's going on over on Raw. And I think this dynamic is just so damn funny. And it's working so well because the two dudes, apparently it's two superstars on Raw and SmackDown, which apparently people are saying it's Ludwig Kaiser and people are saying it's Chad Gable. I don't believe them at all, because this is, the OG El Grande and the new El Grande. Like, these are two just historic legends. So it can't be them, but let's say we're going to go off that. Ludwig and Chad are both doing a fantastic job being in the place, if that's even correct, but we'll just say it is for now. Bad news. We learned on Raw that Braun Breaker is hurt with a hernia injury and will be out for an extensive amount of time. Where do I think the vision goes from here? This is such a tough one because Braun Breaker was the focal point. And I don't want the vision to turn into this, like, the vision is going to go one of two ways. They're either going to have someone replace where he's at, or they're going to get really stagnant. And them getting stagnant would be really, really bad, because I want them to continue being this high level, high force faction over on Raw. And I don't want them to flatline. I want them to keep going up. I want them maybe literally just to be like, we're just going out and beating people up every week, and we're cheating, and we're doing all these heelish things. And maybe, like, hopefully Braun Breaker can get through this. Of course, it happened while lifting. I heard people saying online, it's like, oh, he had his hernia injury whenever he lifted up a table, and it's like, no, he already had it at that point. He got it whenever he was doing some training, which they do very intense lifting. Obviously, I mean, look at these dudes, they look nuts. So, it happens. I wish him the best in his recovery, but the vision, they need to make the vision look super mega strong, even without Braun Breaker. So whenever he returns, they can just pick right up and take off. So, another injury report. Sadly, Chelsea Green has a foot injury. I don't know how long she's going to be out for, or what if she needs surgery or things like that. I don't know yet. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and she can kind of just be in a boot for a few weeks and get it all healed up, because having her not on SmackDown is an absolute travesty, because it would be super boring. The Raw tag team division needs to keep up what they're doing as well. Let's think about this. For the last 8 months, the Raw tag division has done absolutely nothing, and they have all these really good tag teams that are already made. You have the War Raiders, and you have the American Made, and you have the Usos now, and you have a Alpha Academy. Like, you have these actual tag teams, like, not just like, we're going to take this person and this person, they're going to be a tag team, which I don't mind every now and then, but actually having like solidified tag teams have the championships is better, in my opinion. But they need to keep this up. The match between Alpha Academy and the Usos was spectacular. I haven't seen Alpha Academy wrestle a match in I couldn't tell you how long, and they were spectacular. Why aren't we building up the tag division by making Alpha Academy go against American Made and they have like a feud going on, and whoever wins this feud goes against the Usos, and then maybe, someone else another tag team gets involved and they're doing a thing. It's like we could really build something cool here on Raw with the tag division, but for way too long, WWE just did nothing with it. So, leading me to the next thing, it says, keep up these fantastic matches with all the tag team talent they have. And the Usos do end up defeating Alpha Academy in an incredible match. And I think people forget that Akira Tozawa is such a good wrestler. I think the thing he gets screwed by is that he's short, which I don't understand why that's a problem, considering Rey Mysterio is considered, he's not even the greatest Mysterio of all time, but, he's considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, which that's, it's fair. It's Rey Mysterio, but I mean, still worse than Dominic. But I think that people forget all of these guys can go. They just focus, like WWE just focuses too much on the money pullers at this point, like the Jey Usos and, all these people like that. But there's a bunch of talent in the WWE that can go. These guys can go. So it was great to see Alpha Academy kind of get their flowers online, seeing people be like, whoa, like this match was amazing. It's like, yeah, that doesn't shock me at all. The women's triple threat for the Chamber qualifying match had Ivy Nile, Rhea Ripley, and Lyra Valkyria. They produced a banger. Ivy Nile, they made her look strong in this. It was fantastic. Lyra did Lyra things. She looked fantastic. Rhea ended up winning. She's going to the Chamber, which makes the most sense. But an Ivy Nile push would be fantastic. Lyra's doing her thing with Bayley. She looks great. All in all, this match was killer. It was technical, and along with that, they had some big moments. Everything just worked for me. And I thought that, Ivy Nile doesn't get a bunch of spotlight, which I always like to see her get a moment. And along with that, Lyra's been caught up in the tag stuff. So seeing her be solo was great. Along with Rhea, we haven't seen Rhea do a bunch of single stuff since she became a tag team with Io. So seeing these three just really being able to go at it and produce a really fun match was great. In other news, also talking about the Chamber match for next week. So the following Monday, Dominic Mysterio is in the Chamber match, which I heard this and I was like, yeah, we're going to get Dom in the Chamber match, maybe. I'll get to why he's not going to be in the Chamber match in a little bit, but if you know why, it's a sad day to be a Javon Evans and Dominic Mysterio fan. So it's going to be a banger of a match, though. I can already tell you that. I think, and of course, following that, more turmoil for Dom and Finn. Finn basically saying, well, why do you want me to go after the tag team championships? And Dom's like, well, it kind of seems like your window's closed. And, Finn then goes out and challenges CM Punk at the Elimination Chamber. And the match is now official. What I have to say is, Finn is definitely just a filler while Roman's away and he's not here every single week. I'm totally fine with that. This is just building up the Raw Championship more, because you have Finn Balor battling for it. Of course, I think Punk's going to get a successful defense at Elimination Chamber. But this is what I think. I think Dom is jealous that Finn is getting World Championship title opportunities, and he wants to be the only one with he wants to be the top dog with singles gold. And I think what they're trying to do is basically be like, Dom is jealous that Finn is potentially going to get a piece of gold that is quote unquote better than the IC title and the AAA Mega Campeonato. I think I said that right. That I'm basically fluent in Spanish at this point. I mean, come on now. But they're kind of building up this turmoil, and I really like this because I think it's leading to the Judgment Day splitting at Elimination Chamber. It has to. That's what I think is going on. I think somehow we're going to end up with Liv versus Raquel, or one of them is going to turn on the other at Elimination Chamber. That's going to happen earlier in the night. And then Finn versus CM Punk for the championship. Dom is going to turn on Finn, turning Dom heel again, which is fantastic, because I like Dom as a heel. He's going to get some more heat. People are still going to cheer him because it's Dom and people like him. But this, I think the way they're setting this up, it's a split at Elimination Chamber. The Judgment Day breaks up and kind of leaves, it's going to be Finn and Raquel on one side and then Dom and Liv on the other. And it's going to turn into this huge dynamic and huge great storyline leading into WrestleMania. So what we're going to be getting is, we're getting Liv versus Stephanie Vaquer, I'm pretty sure, unless somehow, I want it to be Raquel versus Liv at Mania or something, or I want some sort of dynamic there. Maybe even Stephanie and Liv and Raquel are going to be in a triple threat. That works for me too. But Finn and Dom are going to be detached. They're starting their feud at Elimination Chamber. It's going to be the same thing. Dom shows up, maybe hooks CM Punk's leg over the rope or something of that nature, and this is going to lead to the Judgment Day split up that we've been looking for. And then eventually Finn has had all these opportunities taken away from him, all of this stuff happening. This is leading to Demon Finn at WrestleMania to take the IC title from Dom Mysterio. And then after that, Dom's going to be out for a while. He's probably going to get a nice paid vacation, because then he's going to win Money in the Bank. Dominic is 100% winning Money in the Bank this year. I would literally bet my entire life savings on it. It's his time. It's my time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think they're doing, and that's what I hope they do, because it makes a lot of sense. But Finn Balor versus Punk at the Elimination Chamber, that's going to be a banger match. And then, of course, on top of that, we're going to get the Dominic heel turn again. So, by the way, Dom has basically turned heel like 50 times in a row. He turned heel on his dad and Edge, and then he's going to turn heel on Mommy. So now he's double heel, and then he's going to turn heel on Finn Balor. Triple heel. Now, he is getting cheered now, so I don't know if you could really count it, but I think this is going to definitely put some more heat on Dom, and then definitely make Finn a super ultra mega baby face, which I think hopefully they ride that momentum and eventually lead it to Finn winning a world championship as well. This question says, would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button in life? Ooh. A pause button, I feel like would be fine, because like maybe I could just like pause in the middle of the day and take a big old nap if I wanted to, or I could pause and go cheat on a test, or like, you know what I'm saying? But a rewind button I feel like is awesome, because if I did something really stupid, I could kind of just like reverse it and like fix my mistake. But I mean, mistakes are supposed to be made. Less mistakes I feel like would be made with a rewind button, but I feel like rewinding is definitely better and would have more of a use. Like, let's say I accidentally drop my water on the ground, it spills everywhere in the middle of the gym, and I look like an idiot now. It's like, okay, let's hit the little rewind button and let's just not drop your water the next time. Sounds pretty good to me. Or maybe I don't get out of bed like the morning I need to go to the gym and I'm lazy and I don't get up. Let's hit the rewind button. Let's run it all the way back, and let's actually get out of bed at 8 a.m. and go to the gym and work out. So I would pick rewind button. I couldn't believe it either. If you guys have paid attention at all to this channel, you know what I'm about to say regarding Maxine Dupree. Say it right now. Say it right now. She came out with her original theme song. She came out with her original theme song, and it's like one of my favorites of all time. It's such a good theme. Def Rebel cooked, and I was literally sitting there, and I didn't even realize it because I was expecting the, the Alpha Academy, the da 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 that she had. Like, I thought they would change her theme song back whenever she won the IC title, and they didn't. So I definitely didn't expect it now. And I'm just sitting there, and all I hear is bum 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 bum. I hear that, and I'm like, wait, I was like, hold on, they're playing her original theme. They're playing Rocket Like Me right now, and I was super hype because that theme song is fantastic. And then of course, leading on that, we get Maxine and Natalia ending in the double count out, and Maxine gets into the sharpshooter. Where I think this goes, Maxine gets put in the sharpshooter by Natty. They have a feud. And then AJ Lee comes to save Maxine. Becky attacks AJ because AJ says she's coming for her IC title at some point in the future. I think at Elimination Chamber, we're getting Maxine and AJ versus Becky and Natty. And at this point, I think we're going to go heels up. I think Becky and Natty are definitely going to win, but it leads to Maxine beating Maxine beating Natty, and AJ beating Becky for the title at WrestleMania. I could definitely see that playing out, and I think Maxine and Natty needs to end in like a no-holds-barred match or a street fight or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But this dynamic, adding in, like I said earlier, adding in some firepower, adding in this AJ and Becky, this gives this feud exactly what it needs. It gives it eyes. It gives it attention. It's going to make WWE actually put time and effort and creativity into what is going on with Maxine versus Natty. The OG Americano tags with Javon against the Americanos, as in Bravo and Ryo. Yeah. So we produced maybe the best moment I've seen ever. The cutter that Javon does to Bravo, off the top rope cutter into getting up and jumping out of the ring onto Ryo, finishing with the diving headbutt from OG Americano. This was the tag team I didn't know I needed. If you want to see my reaction for that, go over to my Instagram and TikTok. I can't post any of that stuff on YouTube because it's a live reaction to what's happening on the screen. I have, the footage down below and my reaction above. Please go check that out. I have a lot of fun content over there as well. So if you want to see those, make sure you're following that. But Javon Evans is generational. What the hell was that? I was so stunned that they even attempted this move. And also, shout out to Bravo, whoever Bravo is. I don't know who he is. But like, his timing on that also has to be absolutely perfect. And goes for the dive, misses, and Javon hits him with the cutter as well. It was chef's kiss. It was unbelievable. Bayley, Natty, and Asuka for an elimination spot. Who do I think is going to win? Here, I think here is Asuka. This seems like an Asuka angle. It makes most sense. But if Bayley's in it too, that wouldn't shock me. Natty's doing her thing with Maxine. It actually wouldn't shock me if Maxine maybe even gets involved with this match. But Asuka's going to be my pick. Gunther had a backstage segment that was pretty fun. Basically makes fun of Dragon Lee. And he's really good at making fun of people. And he's like the best heel on the roster right now, in my opinion, and he's just killing it. This leads me to what I was saying earlier. Dom versus Javon versus Gunther. Oh, no. It might be over. It might be over. Because, yeah, I think it's over. There's no chance Javon or Dom win this, right? I would love a sneaky Dominic win as much as the next guy. I would love for Javon in an Elimination Chamber match makes way too much sense. I don't think Dom's going to win this because he's going to be doing his thing. I think he's going to screw over Finn or something, something of that nature. So I don't think Dom's going to be in it, but Javon fits an Elimination Chamber match super well. Gunther getting screwed over by someone else outside of the match would be really good if you wanted to put Javon in that spot. But I'm pretty sure Gunther is literally, like, they're either going to do that where Javon ends up picking up a win because Gunther gets screwed over, or it's going to be Gunther literally just kills both of them and goes to the chamber. I don't know which way they're going to play it, but this match, Dom, who you get awesome in-ring storytelling from, versus Javon, who is a prodigy, who is super good, high-flying, along with the ring general, the career killer. You got Gunther. I mean, this is going to be a banger. I can already tell. LA Knight, Austin Theory, Penta go at it for their Elimination Chamber qualifying. And the Masked Man shows up, who again I think is Grayson Waller, stomps Austin Theory, and then LA Knight goes to the chamber. This match was fantastic. Bunch of great spots. Everybody equally pulled their weight. Austin Theory looked fantastic. Penta's got to be a world champion in the near future because he's just killing it right now. And overall, like, the match just flowed super well, which I wasn't really expecting between these three guys because I don't feel like they have much chemistry, but they killed it. And then LA Knight picking up the win, I think, is right. This is the correct choice. I could actually see LA Knight winning the Elimination Chamber because him getting sent from Raw to SmackDown to be the, SmackDown champion, if that ends up happening, that's fine. That's totally fine for him to be back over on SmackDown. A YouTube commenter says, you seem to be a heel guy. You like people like Dominic Mysterio. You like the new El Grande Americano, yada, yada. Me too. But why? And were you always like that? So was I always a heel guy? No. Oh man, besides Dolph is like my exception, but people like Kane and I didn't like Kane, and so it's not like I didn't like Randy Orton, but I thought Randy Orton was mean. Like growing up, whenever I was younger, I loved the Usos, who were mega baby faces. I loved the New Day, mega baby faces. Like, again, whenever you're younger, you tend to like the good guys more. That's kind of how it usually works. But whenever after I started watching again, I'm a huge heel guy. I love the heels. I love bad stuff. I love people cheating to win, lie, cheat, steal. I love, saying mean things in promos, like making fun of like the actual audience, like Braun Breaker does. He told some guy, you probably can't even see your toes at a press conference, which was great. Like, I feel like being a heel, there's way more character creativity. And I like the boos. I like hearing someone get booed. I think it's so funny. So that's kind of why I'm a heel guy, but I haven't always been one. I literally used to cry whenever the Usos would lose to someone if the other person like cheated. I would. So definitely wasn't always, but now definitely heel. Last question says, what sport would I add to the Winter Olympics? I already pre-put these down, so I don't even have to think about it. First one, I have two. First one, snowball fight. In the Winter Olympics, because they're going on right now, why don't we have a snowball fight? You got 5 people. We're going to run it like search and destroy style. Call of Duty Black Ops. 5 people on one team, 5 people on the other. One team has to get a bomb planted. Not an actual bomb. Maybe it's just like a 5-second timer thing. You got to get that planted down. And the other team has to try and stop you from planting at this certain spot. And you use these snowballs back in the pocket. You get hit by one, you're out. Maybe we even color the snowball so we know this person got hit. And we build up this huge icy terrain. And, it's like some igloos. And you got some walls to hide behind and all this stuff. You can't tell me a giant snowball fight between countries. So between like America and Italy, you can't tell me that wouldn't be sick as hell. That's all I'm saying. Then next, we got snowmobile racing. How is this not a thing? How is snowmobile racing not a thing? Now, it may have been a thing in the past, and I just don't know about it, and maybe I just sound like an idiot. But I definitely know it hasn't been in since I've been alive, I think, or since I've been watching it. But you cannot tell me it wouldn't be sick if it was like, here's some dude from Mongolia, this dude from the United States, and someone from Uruguay, and they're gonna get on equal machinery snowmobiles and race down this icy, snowy trail and let's just have a battle. That would be sick as hell. How are we not doing that? I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. So those are my 2 picks if I had to add somebody into the Winter Olympics. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our final question here on the Zigzag. If you want more content, please, I'm really trying to push my stuff out. Leave a comment down below. Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you get your podcasts is where you can listen to this in the podcast form. If you like watching me for some reason, this is on YouTube as well. Other stuff on YouTube include tier lists, other random WWE videos I'll be making. And then along with that, TikTok, Instagram, those are where you can see my live Raw reactions. If you miss Raw, come over and check out some of the highlights I end up posting day after. I even maybe throw in a little bit of like conspiracies or maybe what could happen, kind of like what I do on here, just more in short form. And then, of course, along with that, I do post the short versions of stuff I say on here in real form. So if you could, go check those out. It's all under the Zigzag. It's all the same because I want to make it easy on you guys and make it easy on me because I'm kind of an idiot. So the Zigzag on all my websites. Please go check me out. Helps boost my content. It gets me opportunities to make more content for you guys, which is what I want to do. So I want to thank you guys for listening or watching to the Zigzag on this illustrious, luxurious episode. I got to go take an exam in like 30 minutes. So I will see you guys next week, and thank you for watching.